Okay then, so Adobe Audition. How are we going to get started with this? So the best way to do it is we're going to start a new multi-track session, right? So, and this is like literally, this is beginners, right? So we'll call it beginners, and you can check out, and you can create that session. And what happens when you create a session? Well, you get something like this. And here you can see the different tracks, right? So probably the best way to actually edit is we're going to do something which is like editing a video file, right? And then we'll import the video file, and then we can maybe put some sound effects in. So that seems like a good approach, and probably one that I'll actually do myself anyway. So if you go into multi-track here, you can see tracks, right? And we've got this option called add video track. So we'll click that. Okay, so now that we've done that, you go to multi-track and you go insert files. Okay, so we'll just choose a random file. Obviously you can find one. And there it is, right? So then we can do right click here, insert into multi-track, and we called it beginners, didn't we? So there it goes. And you'll notice it came in where the time, the CTI was, current time indicator. So basically, and you can see we've also got this little panel. This is the video panel. So for instance, if I press space now, welcome to another Illustrator video. We're going to look at the AI features in Illustrator this time. So basically, that is the starting point, right? And we can sort of take a look at some of the interface here. So if we move over here, you can see we can go through the track. So for instance, we can press play here. Image, I found hold down fast forward.
Generally, all these kind of Picasso style images are really ideal for using.
And we can also move over here like this. We could rewind, for instance. Kind of Picasso style images. Picasso style images, because it's always playing. Really, I do that. So it's very similar to like a cassette recorder or something like that. Okay, so the next thing to do is maybe to get some sound effects. So basically, we'll just choose the next track down, right, which is here is track 2. You can see we can go down and add as many as we want, right? And then we'll do import. Let's try this one, Bell used to. Now this file is completely different from what I've actually been working with in this session, what I set the session rate as. So if we actually do insert, we make sure we've got track 2 selected. We'll do insert to multi-track beginners, and it says it doesn't match. So it says it's going to make a copy of the file, and that's fine, right? So you can see it's basically created this file, and those were the settings that I created at the beginning, the 48,000, and it's a WAV file, right? So if we take a look at that image that I found in Adobe, okay, so you can hear that. You can hear image that I found in Adobe. Now, what can you do with this? Well, okay, so we've added this clip. You see this 48,000 WAV for clip. So let's see, what if we wanted to move it to a later point in time? Well, we can go here and right click, hold right click, and we'll put it over here. And let's move it here. So that's one way we could do it. So the next way we could do it, right click and hold. So we'll right click, move it over here, and we'll go for copy here. All right, so that creates a copy of it. And the third way to do it is do this and do copy unique here. And now take a look at the files pane over here when I press this button. You see it creates another instance of it. For each track you have access to the mixer, and this is the point where you actually put the effects in as well. So you can see that's where the effects might be. I'll get onto that probably in a later video though. Let's create a copy here. So how are we going to select these two? Well, we could press down the control key, we'll right click, and we'll right click. And then what can we do with these two? Well, let's actually take a look at the right click menu, because there's actually a bunch of stuff in the right click menu that is useful. What you might want to do is group them together, right? We could group clips, and then you could ungroup them afterwards if that was the case. Another thing you can do is this, mix down session to new file. So we do selected clips on that. So here's the mix down session. It's about 9 seconds long, right? So this, when you click here, this is taking me like, imagine isolated mode in Illustrator, or like an object mode. This is basically taking us like into a deeper level within the track here. But if we just click on the session, we can go back to where we were before. So what I could do is we take this mix down session here. Another way you can do it, of course, is you can drag it in here. You see we can put it in this section here. So there's our mix down there. So yeah, so what we could do is we could select these two, Control G and group them. You see the color changes. We could also change that color if we wanted as well. So we go to the group color here. You can say, you know what, I don't want that to be that color. I want it to be this color instead. In the properties section, we've also got the ability to do like various things with this, right? So we could add gain to the track, for instance, or we could do a stretch, right? We could do real time. So you can see if we add stretch here. So yeah, so that's basically like the getting started thing. But yeah, we'll look at much more into Audition in subsequent videos. So thanks for watching.